seeing as you pretended to be a goaltender for a long time,
Did
what's
pretend.
the are we? Is there the positives with Markstrom going out right now is that you get a chance to see Wolf. How are you going to manage this if you're the Flames? Like, you need Vladar to be better and to prove that he can still be a player, or at least find out. But you also have the opportunity to have Wolf come in and establish himself, or not. Which way would you lean? Give Vladar some run and find out if he's still a player, or play the go with Wolf and give him his shot? What's a good plan for these guys?
Well, the plan too is okay. I'll even go a step further. What do you believe the plan is for Jacob Markstrom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
So there's a short term and there's a long term. Let's start
exactly,
on the short term focus, Noodles, because I do want to talk about the long term, but I think they're very different conversations. So let's start. Let's say you got 2 weeks here. What are you doing in net?
I would almost split the games because you still need to keep in mind Vladar, who's played better and played well. It ties to the long term, but I'll keep it short term. You still have to keep Vladar's value very like high because he had a slow start to the season. So if there were teams looking at him, if you were going to go with a Markstrom Wolf tandem, Vladar had to get playing for teams to go, okay, yeah, we will give up X for that. So Vladar, if he is a trade piece or somebody that you are looking at to maybe move on from, if you believe Markstrom and Wolf, Markstrom's going to mentor Wolf, then you have to keep Vladar playing. But you want to see this is an opportunity for Wolf in an injury in a team that is 500, we'll call it in that range. You've got to give him some runway to play too. So that's why I said if it's a 2 week span and you got 7 games or 8 games, I could see 4-4 or something like that, 5-3. But Vladar's got to play, but so does Wolf. Like I don't think Wolf's there to wear a baseball cap. He's got to. You got to find out. And I believe he can play, but he needs experience. He needs the right situation. But again, in the short term, I think he's got to play some games, but so does Vladar. So I look at it as a tandem and just kind of, who you want to play on that particular night.
Yeah, and sure, the obvious stipulation: if someone wants to hang a zero, by all means, go and play the next. Like that'd be lovely.
Right.
Now to the long term, a lot of people keep talking about Vladar. Why do we think if this team's going to reload that keeping Markstrom is the best move? Is he not the more marketable, valuable asset and a guy that wants to win at this stage of his career?
I believe that he's a starting goaltender. So, if I'm LA and I know Cam Talbot's had a great start to the season, LA's won 10 in a row. Like they're just
On the road, yeah.
they're a juggernaut. But, it's Phoenix Copley and Cam Talbot who had 3 different injuries last year. So is LA looking for, respectfully an upgrade at that position? Yes. The Leafs, Edmonton, you name it. Like there is marketplace. Carolina can't get a save. Like
No,
I don't know what's happened
oddly.
there. So like there's teams that are, supposed to be top freight teams that would be shopping for a guy who makes 6 million, 2 more years. So you'd have him really for 3 playoff runs.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it, like I think there would be a marketplace for Markstrom if Craig Conroy goes, I'm going to move away from him. I'm looking to get out from underneath long-term deals. I'm going to, continue to, I'm going to start the rebuild, however you want to frame it, a retool. I think there's a marketplace for Markstrom. Absolutely. Because he's proven that he's a 1. Like that's the thing. And not, maybe John Gibson, who's a 1, but he's a drowning 1 right now in Anaheim. Blackwood, I think, is a 1, but he is still yet to prove it. I like his contract. I think he's got upside. He's played in 2 bad situations, New Jersey when they were retooling, San Jose when they're retooling. I've heard, though, and I'll just say this, I've heard he's a goalie. So
Okay.
he's a strange duck that way. So I don't know what that means. I just like somebody told me because I like the kid. He's big. He's got good feet. He's got a lot of skill. But what I was told is like Jamie, he's like the definition of a goalie. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but so there's 3 guys that could be potentially targeted. So bring it back to Calgary. If you decide you're going to retool and Wolf is ready to push through, Vladar has one more year, correct?
At 2.2. Yeah.
2.2. I thought it was 2.8. So 2.2. So there's, if you decide to retool, there's your tandem in the retool, and, you see what it shakes out. What you've done is kick the can down the road for a year or two. That being said, if you believe you just want to try and make the playoffs, and then Vladar's the marketplace, and you keep Markstrom and Wolf, and Markstrom mentors Wolf and shows him how to be a number one in the NHL. So you've got options. And to me, honestly, a lot of them are positive because you've got three guys who are NHL goalies. Now, different tiers of them, but they are NHL goalies. But Markstrom would have the most cachet and would probably garner the most right now.
What are your thoughts on that, Rhett? He's got a no move, but he's here to win. He's not 25. He's in this is his last big contract, so to speak.
Yeah, Noodles laid it out pretty good. The hardest part right now for me is Vladar, because I don't know what his marketability is. I don't think he's played that well, and I don't think other teams are looking at him going, he's going to help us move forward. So, but I also in Buffalo, the kid they sent down to the minors, Levi.
Yeah.
And so my word of caution with moving Markstrom is, great, move him. You'll get a good return, I believe, and I think he would accept a trade. But you're putting Wolf out to the wolves, like and Levi hasn't been able to do it, and now Levi's coming from college. But you know what I mean? Like it is nice to have someone capable to learn under, take a little heat off, and you don't have to trade Markstrom right now.
Yeah,
no, you've got
I agree. So I look at guys who pushed through. Ben Bishop was in front of Vasilevsky, and then it was Vasi's time to push through. Okay. You make him expendable. I've always believed in having a veteran goaltender and a young up-and-comer, because the young up-and-comer can watch the veteran, how he handles the day-to-day. I'll give you an example. I broke into the league. I actually, believe it or not, was supposed to be a starter. I mean, we're all starters in lower levels before we make it to the NHL. So they had Ron Hextall play with me. He was 30. I was 21, 22. Couldn't have been a better mentor as far as work ethic, preparation, all of that. And I've always believed in having somebody who's been there and done that to play with somebody who is just learning how to be there and do that type of thing. So that's why I'm not as bullish on moving Markstrom, but I just said there's tremendous options there for Connie when he decides on which way he's going to go, because it could be an off-season move where you've allowed Wolf to continue to grow, get some development, get some games this year. You maybe move Vladar at the deadline. Again, I agree with you, Rhett. What is the marketplace for a tandem goaltender? Because I watched Eric Comrie play last night. Like, I didn't love his game. Not that he was the difference. Uka Puka Luka there in Buffalo too. Like, he's come around, but UPL. But I think Buffalo, like Vladar, would be at least a peer or maybe an upgrade on one of them. There are teams like, again, Carolina can't get a save. They might just need a different face in there. Like, it might just be, Kochetkov has struggled, Ranta has struggled, Freddie Anderson's got blood clots. They might just need a face to build around. Edmonton needs, Calvin Pickard's the backup. Jack Campbell's, he's had his ups and downs as it trends on Twitter every day, whether he plays well or he had a shutout and then he got allowed 4 goals on 30 shots the other day. So it's like, I don't know what Edmonton's going to do, but if I'm them, I'm looking to stabilize that position because Stuart Skinner's not going to play 70 games. So There's options there.
And I'm with you. I think that's the nice thing for Connie, is that he does have options. And I think that he's probably got the support of all the fans in watching this team, that the expectations aren't too high anymore. I think they were high, or I think there's a little bit of reality that's set in. And I think ultimately it comes down to what's your return. I'm not
Yep.
going to move Markstrom just to move him. It's way better to have Markstrom here. It's manageable. He's playing well. He can mentor Wolf. The fly in the ointment is how good can we get Vladar to look if we're going to move him? Because I don't think you need to carry. I do think Vladar has to be gone, or somebody has to be gone by the end of the year.
Oh yeah,
I would hate to see 3 guys here after the deadline, guys.
No, I would say you've got to move somebody at the deadline, because at that point you'll know what your team is, whether you're on, whether you're pushing for a playoff spot, whether you're in it, where you're not, because I think they're going to be right around there.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.